The servants were really angry at Sadao that he saved a life of an enemy. He was a prisoner of war who had run away from the prison, and he was almost dying. So the servants could not understand why their master did not let him die. Was he so proud of his skill to save lives that he saved his life? Or was that he loved Americans because he and Hannah had spent a long time in America? They had some kind of soft corner for them, for the Americans, or loved America more than their own country. They were totally against what their master had done. It is the children of whom we must think, Yumi said sadly. What will be their fate if their father is condemned as a traitor? Yumi joined their conversation and she said that what would be the fate of the children if their father would get condemned as a traitor, would get guilty of betraying the country because he had kept an enemy in his house. They did not try to hide what they said from the ears of Hannah as she stood arranging the day's flowers in the veranda nearby. Hannah was nearby. She was arranging the day's flowers. So they did not try to hide what they said from the ears of Hannah. They wanted her to hear everything out. They did that deliberately. They wanted to tell her indirectly what was going on in their minds. And she knew they spoke on purpose that she might hear. Maybe they wanted to warn her. Warn her of the consequences they would suffer when they would get caught. That they were right, she knew too in most of her being. She understood what they wanted to convey to her. And they were right also. She knew that. But there was another part of her which she herself could not understand. But there was something different in her which compelled her think differently from them. She could not see that man simply as an enemy. When she saw him suffering, she saw a human being suffering, another human being suffering. So children, what do you think that made her think differently, act differently from rest of the people of her country? Why did she support Sadao and saved the life of that man? It was not sentimental liking of the prisoner. It was not even emotional liking of the prisoner. So what was that? According to me, it was purely humanity, which compelled both of them to save his life. He was another human being who was lying in front of them, lying in front of them in a very desperate state. He was nearing his death. He needed immediate attention, which Sadao, being a doctor, a surgeon, could only give. And he did that, not thinking that he was an enemy. He did what he could do. He saved his life. not because he had developed some kind of liking, but purely on humanitarian grounds. It was not sentimental liking of the prisoner, not at all. She had come to think of him as a prisoner. She had not liked him even yesterday when he had said in his impulsive way, "Anyway, let me tell you that my name is Tom." She had gone to his room and he had tried to converse with her. She had only bowed her little distant bow. She showed cold shoulders to him. She didn't allow him to converse with her at all, because she didn't want any emotional attachment with the person, because she was considering him as an enemy only. She saw hurt in his eyes when she didn't answer him. She saw that he had felt sad, but she did not wish to assuage it. She didn't try anything to calm him down or to make him feel comfortable. She didn't want to comfort him at all with her words, because she always wanted to keep a distance from him, and she always wanted to remember that he was their enemy. She saw that he felt sad, but she didn't try to assuage it. Assuage means to lessen, to make it mild. Indeed, he was a great trouble in this house. She had come to the conclusion that by keeping him in the house, they had actually called a great trouble. They might land up in difficult situation later.